Joint Special Operations Command of the Armed Forces of the Philippines was formally activated just last May.
The Philippines is one of America's longest-standing allies. From the geographical importance of World War II to the front lines combating Chinese expansion in the Pacific, the military partnership between the United States and the Philippines is an important part of global stability. From the Global Special Operations Foundation Symposium in Athens, Greece, I sat down with the commander of Joint Special Operations Command of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, Brigadier General Eliglen Villaflor, to discuss the evolution of special operations in the Philippines, the lessons learned from years of conflict, and the country's expanding role in regional and international security cooperation.
The challenges will outweigh the positive impact of having JSOC. Aggressive, illegal, dangerous, and coercive action of China is very...
General Villaflor, welcome to the Jedburgh podcast.
Thank you, Fran, and thank you for having me in this Jedburgh podcast. And this is my first time to be in a podcast.
Well, I'm excited because we're here. We're at GSOF Europe 2025. We're in Athens, Greece. We sequestered you for the next little bit to really dig into what's going on with the Armed Forces of the Philippines. You're the commander of their JSOC, their Joint Special Operations Command, sir, and longtime partner of the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
On the Jedburgh podcast, we have spent the last 5 years talking about U.S. SOF and what does it mean to be and serve in American Special Operations Forces. And in so many of those episodes, we talk about this concept of by, with, and through, how America partners with their allies to develop capability across the world and then work together to go out and combat our mutual enemies. But in that time, we've never had anyone representing a partner or an ally on this show. So this might be your first on the Jedburgh podcast, but this is our first to sit down with an ally, but also one of America's longtime most strategic allies in the Philippines. So it is an honor, sir, to have you.
No, it's an honor for me also, and a privilege to be with you today. And as you've said, we are a long-time ally. We are defense treaty partner with U.S. for more than 70 years. More than 70 years. Lots of history, lots of trust, relationship. Actually, we're family.
Yeah.
We're family.
Well, let's talk about the command that you sit in charge of today, and that's Philippine Joint Special Operations Command.
Yeah.
What is Philippines Joint Special Operations Command? How's it constructed, and what's the mission?
Yeah, the Joint Special Operations Command of the Armed Forces of the Philippines was formally activated just last May. Just last May. Like the Greek Armed Forces, or Hellenic Republic Armed Forces, Philippines before is like a single service SOF. Since after the World War II, we've been combating insurgents, communism, insurgency, transnational terrorism, jihadists, separatists, but there's no really joint command that was established. We tried. We tried on the army side, but it was disbanded even before it it became into a full maturity. In 2018, AF Armed Forces of the Philippines SOCOM was established for the purpose of jointness, but the objective wasn't achieved. But with the strategic shift of our Department of National Defense of our country to be responsive to the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept, it led to the creation of JSOC. So what's JSOC? Basically, I'm an employer to to execute the strategic objective of the Department of National Defense. I have with me attached special operations forces from the Navy, from the Army, from the Air Force, and from the Marines. So SOF from major services are force providers. I am the force employer. I receive mission from the President, who is also the Commander-in-Chief, and from the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces. We call him, he's the Chief of our Defense. So yeah, we execute strategic mission, high profile, high value mission.
As you've stood this command up, and you're an Army guy,
Yeah.
so you speak Army,
Yeah.
but now you got to figure out, how am I going to speak Navy?
Yeah.
And how am I going to bring in the Marines? What have been some of the biggest opportunities that you've seen over the last several months, but also some of the challenges when you bring together these disparate forces under a single commander?
Although I'm Army, I'm a Special Forces, so operating in land, air, and water is not new to me. I've been operating with other major services SOF when I was a battalion commander in southern Philippines, where the height of terrorism, Abu Sayyaf, ISIS group were operating. But right now, as a JSOC commander, although there's a big opportunity for JSOC, challenges is always there. Uh, I also believe that it's very common in all armed forces, especially that major services commanders tend to hold on to their major services of SOF, middle with the conduct of operations, but the the challenges will outweigh the positive impact of having JSOC.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a matter of time. In every changing organization, there's always a first resistance to change,
Sure.
right? Then eventually we will achieve that support, understanding towards the change.
Yeah. So you mentioned some of the operations that you've been a part of over your career.
Yeah.
Historically, post World War II, and as we've gone, I'd say over the last 20 plus years, the Philippines, like the United States and much of the world, has been very focused on counterterrorism operations. We had a chance, you and I, to be on the panel earlier upstairs in front of all of GSOF with one of your colleagues from Poland, General Drumowicz, who is leading the Polish armed forces in their fight against the Russians and Russian aggression in Eastern Europe. But we talked about the fact that counterterrorism and terrorist groups have dominated so much of the landscape, especially since 9/11. However, over the last several years, we have seen nation states, global superpowers, great nations, nations of great status,
Yeah.
are now demonstrating significant aggression across the world. For you, it's been China.
Yeah.
And China's push into what they term the South China Sea. You corrected me earlier, have a different term
Yeah.
for that area of the world. And also their intentions that they've made known to one day potentially reunify Taiwan with China. So you, as you've stood up the command, have had to now also shift a bit of your focus from CT, which does still exist, but now into what we've termed large-scale combat operations. How do we combat nation states who are peer enemies?
Yeah.
How have you started to change that mindset and integrate that large-scale combat operation reality into a multitude of forces who are coming together as once, but by and large have been very focused on counterterrorism?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. JSOC is not leaving behind CT effort. It's still in our core competency, but with the strategic shift of our defense department, we are compelled to perform um, mission essential tasks on internal security operations, on conducting irregular warfare against adversaries. It's good that we have our longtime ally, US, helping us. Last year, I was able to speak with the former JSOC commander. He's now the U.S. SOCOM commander, Admiral Bradley. I frankly admitted to him that Sir JSOC will become JSOC a few months from now. Since I was a lieutenant, I've been confronting internal security operations, counterterrorism. And now the missions given to me is maritime domain awareness, territorial defense operations, which is very, very, very foreign to me. So I asked his help. I asked the U.S. Assistance on it, and I appreciate his reply. He said, "We are longtime partners. We can do a lot of coaching to you." He used the word coaching, which I really like, and it's really happening since then until now. The engagement with the U.S. counterpart has been more aggressive than before, and also engagement with the allied nations and partner nations. So, how do we prepare how do we do? How are we doing what we are doing in preparing for a bigger scale? So, we engage in more bilateral exercises, multilateral exercises, focusing on interoperability, jointness, and combined operations.
You brought up your conversations with Admiral Bradley, now the U.S. SOCOM commander. And what I think about is forums like this, global soft foundations, bringing everybody together to discuss interoperability.
Yeah.
You referenced working over your career with American Special Operations Forces, and working with our partners is a key component. That's really the core mission. You know, everybody, and when we talked about counterterrorism, and a lot of people will say to me, "Oh, you were a Green Beret. You know, you kick down doors."
Yeah.
And it's like, actually, no.
Yeah.
I train others to kick down doors.
Yeah.
That's our core mission.
Yeah.
And our core mission is to work with other nations to achieve the combined goals of our nations. But with that comes really trust and respect. And one of the uniquenesses of all SOF that we see displayed here is that you can be a junior officer or a junior non-commissioned officer, and you have a counterpart in another nation.
Yeah.
And you're going to meet each other
Yeah.
young in your career.
Yeah.
And then you're going to parallel track each other, run into each other time and time again, and eventually become generals and sergeant majors, and build this relationship on a personal level that then helps achieve the strategic effect. Can you talk about the relationships that you've been able to build with foreign leaders to be able to now, as you sit in command of JSOC, leverage those relationships to bring value to your organization?
Oh, I'm just very glad that I had given the opportunity to train with foreign counterparts, especially with US. When I was a captain, I was sent to Fort Benning. I had classmates from the US Army and more than 20 other guys from different parts of the world. As I go up my career, I had other trainings, and then participated in fora like this, symposiums. And you know what? Yesterday, I was able to meet a two-star general from Greek armed forces, and he knows my classmates, Greek classmates when I was in Port Benning. They became major generals, and we were talking to each other by phone. And I ran through some of the guys whom I met long before, and the barrier was immediately was this broken. It's like we were long lost friend, family, and this relationship really builds trust. And I would like to borrow the word of General Brian Fenton, the former U.S. SOCOM. He said, "Soft are not only building trust, we are building family. We are family, and we take care of each other."
Yeah, you see that on display, here and in all regions of the world that we operate in.
Yeah.
And talk for a second about your career. Yeah, everybody's got to make a choice
Yeah.
when they decide to come into the military. I mean, I come from the U.S., right? And so we have as culturally, right, we have a very pro-military culture.
Mm.
I'm we call it 9/11 baby. So yeah, 9/11 happened. I was a junior in college. I kind of had to decide, am I going to be a reporter or am I going to go follow these guys with beards and long hair, riding horses
Yeah.
through the desert of Afghanistan, changing the world? So we all have this decision to make for various reasons. But I'm interested in your decision to join the Armed Forces of the Philippines. And also, what's the culture in the Philippines around national defense and around joining the military in general?
Well, it's different in the Philippines. Usually, people who join the armed forces because they want to join is because they have a lineage of military, history. Grandfather, father, or brother is from the military, but mostly join the armed forces is because of a very, shall I say, low economic status. In my case, I came from a big family, uh, brood of 17. Sorry, 13.
13.
13. And I was fatherless at the age of 7. And it's my dream to be able to finish college because none of my older brothers and sisters were able to finish college. So I tried scholarship, but it's not enough. Then I saw the poster of Philippine Military Academy. I was already second year college, taking up engineering, and it says there, if you want free education, join the Philippine Military Academy. So that caption caught my attention, and I applied. I took the exam. I entered the academy. When I was interviewed, why do you want to become a cadet? I said, I want to avail of the free education. But because maybe the military was so successful in brainwashing me, I learned to love the military, and it's deep in my heart to pay back for what I received from the government through the military academy. And up to now, I'm still grateful. I had so many opportunities offered to me to leave the service for greener pasture, but I said no. I have to stick to the service and pay back to the government.
Yeah. This Sergeant Major Mike Weimer, who's he's a Sergeant Major of the U.S. Army. We've had a chance to build a great relationship with him over the years, and he calls it compliance to commitment.
Compliance to commitment.
So you join the Army and you're compliant. They told me to dress this way. They tell me to cut my
Yeah.
hair, shave my face, do
Yeah.
this, and you do it because someone tells you to do it. But over time, you do it because you want to, and
Yeah.
because it's the right thing to do, and you're completely committed to the cause.
Exactly. Exactly. That's how it is.
Yeah. What's the culture of the armed forces of the Philippines? How would you assess that culture? And I'll put it in the context of the fact that we've got a bit of a generational change that's going on, especially within the U.S. military,
Hmm.
where we have three generations in the ranks right now. We have a generation of senior leaders who served prior to 9/11 and the global war on terror, and then led at the tactical through strategic levels during the bulk of their service in the GWAT. And then we have people like me who came in for GWAT. They're at retirement age right now, or they're becoming senior leaders. And then you have a whole new generation of folks who, U.S. perspective is that they weren't even born on 9/11 when the world changed, especially for America. And so we've got to balance these three cultures who are all very distinct. When you look across your formation, what do you see in the culture of the ranks, and how are you bringing up and really emboldening the next generation behind you to take the helm?
Well, in the Philippines, the situation is not really like that. Maybe because of our culture as well. You call it hierarchical. So it's always leader centered. Leader centered. It goes down to the family also. We are patriarchal. So what the what the leader says is what is being followed. So there's also a lot of influence from the leader of the family, leader of the organization. Um, oop, somehow, the influence of social media reach the consciousness of the Philippines and maybe over the world, all over the world. And I think the culture will change somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow, yeah,
Yeah. Well, social media is impacting everyone in the world.
yeah.
So for better or worse, I don't know. It depends where you fall on that. I want to ask you about interoperability. And we talked about it a little bit on the panel earlier today, but interoperability gets thrown around a lot, especially in forums like this, where we walk through the showroom floor here and you see technology of everything that you can imagine sitting over here. But at the end of the day, different countries have different capabilities.
Yeah.
They favor different technologies over others. But when we come together to operate as a combined force, nation with nation, we got to leverage our partners and our allies' capabilities.
Mm.
How do you define interoperability? And as you stand up JSOC and you solidify it, what are the capabilities that you're looking for from other countries that are going to be able to enhance your mission?
Yeah, we are now inculcating in our culture the word interoperability, not only with our ally, but also within the armed forces of the Philippines. So we see to it that in our capability development program, we see to it there's an office overseeing it, ensuring that what we buy, what we procure is interoperable with other major services. And in the soft side, on our side, we see to it also that our capability development is interoperable with our ally, with our partner nations, especially US. There's a program by the US. It's the Building Partners Capacity, Foreign Military Support Program. And we ensure that this equipment is interoperable with our ally and also training. We've never been so active in training as compared to before right now with the US, especially with the US.
Yeah. What do you see as the biggest threat to the Philippines right now?
In the geopolitical theater, it's China.
Yeah.
It's China. Aggressive, illegal, dangerous, and coercive action of China is very visible in our country. They've been doing information operations and Grayson tactics. Some of it we term United Front Works. They are infiltrating our government agencies, our communities, and our sector. Our business sector. So they're everywhere. They are there, and it's good that soft is there also to expose the support system used by China in our country.
Got one more question for you.
Yeah.
As you stand in front of your formation as the JSOC commander and you look at the threats posed by China, you look at the opportunities to bring interoperability into your force to partner with allied nations like the US, you have a vision for the future. You have a vision for what JSOC's going to look like in 2, 3, 5 years, however long your term as the commander may last.
Yeah.
What is that vision, and what's the call to action that you have for the soldiers within your formation? Soldiers, airmen, Marines,
Yeah.
sailors within your formation.
Yeah. As I've said during the panel, it is always every commander's dream to have the latest technology, to have the latest capability in your arsenal. But I would like to emphasize to my men that it's still all about mindset. It's all about the attitude, the discipline. Because no matter how, even though you have all this technology, all this equipment, it's still the human capital, still the person that operates this equipment. So it's still the mindset, the discipline that really counts on all of this.
Special operations
The
force.
special operations way.
Yeah. Special operations force is truth number one.
Yeah,
The people are more important than hardware.
than
No
hardware.
matter what nation you're from,
Thank you.
that's the reality.
That's it.
You gotta
That's
have
it.
good people.
That's it. That's it, Fran. Thank you.
Can throw everything at it, but
Yeah.
good people will operate good and bad equipment better.
Oh yeah.
That's the reality of it. Well, sir, I appreciate you taking time to spend with me here and talk about your vision for the organization. Also, very much appreciate you sitting on the panel with me earlier today. We didn't meet before today,
Yeah.
but in true soft fashion, we hit it off in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like when I come to the Philippines, I'm gonna have a friend and a phone number that I can call, and you know that if you come to New York, you better look me up because I'm gonna come find you and we're gonna spend some time together.
Thank you, Fran. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Special you.
Yeah.
American Jedburghs went on to form the foundation of the United States Special Forces and the Special Activities Directorate of the Central Intelligence Agency. Thanks for listening to the Jedburgh Podcast, an official program of the Green Beret Foundation. I'm your creator and host, Fran Racioppi. Join us next week for a new episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out on YouTube for full episodes, highlights, and other long and short form content. If you like what you heard, give us a like and leave a review. Follow the Jedburgh Podcast and the Green Beret Foundation on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, X, or Threads. Send your comments and inquiries to fran@jedburghpodcast.com. As former members of Special Operations Forces, the Jedburgh Media Channel and the Green Beret Foundation remain committed to supporting all generations of U.S. Army Special Forces and their families. Thanks for joining us on this episode. How you prepare today determines success tomorrow.